Tune in to learn all the sciencey things about herbalism. This is the most important thing that I can ever teach you. So if you want to learn how to do herbalism correctly, watch the full thing. Okay, these are the 3 things that you need to know if you're going to make herbal medicine that works, because you remember how I told you it was an art, but it was also a science? This is the science I'm talking about. And it's not discussed in many places. I've taken several courses, read several books, and legitimately it was only mentioned in one of them. One of my courses mentioned this, and that's when I deep dived into it, and I realized that this is the most important part. All right, so these 3 words are the 3 words that I need you to learn if you want to make herbal medicine yourself. Solubility. By definition, I'm going to put it up on the screen here for you, okay? In chemistry, solubility is the ability of a substance, the solute, to form a solution with another substance, the solvent. What is a solute? Solute, by definition, is the minor component in a solution dissolved in the solvent. Solvent, a substance, ordinarily liquid, in which other materials dissolve to form a solution. It's able to dissolve another substance. So let's talk plant chemistry, because that's essentially what you're doing when you study herbalism, when you do herbalism correctly. So plant chemistry is the basis of the therapeutic use of herbs. And a good knowledge of the chemical compounds in your herb is going to turn you into a better herbalist. The more you know that plant and its compounds, its constituents that make it up, and what those constituents do for your body, and what they dissolve in and what they don't dissolve in, the better your products are going to be. So you've heard me talk about constituents. What is a constituent? Let me read you the definition. I wrote it down just for you. Okay. To a pharmacist, a constituent is the active ingredient of the plant, the chemicals that have a marked, definable, physiological, and therefore possibly medicinal activity on the body. Constituent, in other terms, is a part of a whole. So it's a part of the plant. It's an invisible chemical makeup of the plant. It's a chemical compound in the plant that does something for your body to alleviate an ailment. And every plant has a constituent. Every plant has several constituents. Let's get to that. So there are 2 different types of constituent. There's a primary constituent and there's a secondary constituent. And when we talk herbal medicine, we're focusing on that secondary constituent. The primary plant constituent, by definition, is a plant metabolite that is involved in a basic life function. So think like cell division, growth, reproduction, respiration, something like that. Secondary plant metabolites are products of subsidiary pathways. And that sounds like really complicated, but when you break it down, it's not. The secondary metabolites are produced whenever those primary compounds break down into smaller compounds. And that happens through like the plant cell pathways. So as that plant breaks down, it produces these secondary components, constituents. This sounds like super scientific and you're thinking, Hunter, no way, because herbalism has been around for thousands of years. I mean, traditional Chinese medicine has been practiced for like 2,000 or 3,000 years. There's folk medicine. The Native Americans were using plants. It's been used forever, and they knew that these plants did something, and through experimenting with them, they found out how to get that out. But now, in the modern day and age, we have science, so we can actually break these plants down and know what they are. And that kind of gives you a better way to use your plant, because there's science behind it now that's been studied. As science evolved, they were able to break these plants down, study these plants, figure out which constituents did what, and then reproduce them in a lab. And that's kind of how modern medicine developed. They based it off plants, and then they started synthetically producing these things, which, you know, big pharma. They found out you could make a bunch of money off of it. And then anyways, we're not going on that round. We'll go on that round another time. You have to research your constituent and figure out what it is soluble in. And then figure out what range of solvent that it is soluble in, because there are ranges which can ruin it. If you go too low, then you won't pull it out. If you go too high, then you kind of ruin it. So like, to help you make this a little bit easier, I've made a reference chart, and it lists 63 of the most common herbs and what their solvent range is. It has their common name, their botanical name, their solvent range, so what range you can dissolve it into, and then a key highlighted for what proof alcohol you would need to dissolve that. So what I do, if something has a certain range, it can be dissolved from 65 to 70% alcohol. I use the lowest proof that will dissolve that, because that makes it a little bit more palatable. Now you can certainly go higher, but what you don't want to do is stick every single herb that you have in 80 proof vodka, or every single herb that you have in Everclear, because it's just not going to work. I know a lot of people do it. I know a lot of people tell you to do it, but that's not how it works. I'm telling you. After I post this video, that link's going to be posted in the comments of this video, pinned to the top, if I can do it, if I can figure that out. I don't know that I can, we'll see. And I'll also post it on my page. It's going to be a digital download link. I've got it posted on Etsy. We have a little Etsy page. This is the only thing on my Etsy page right now. I might add more, I don't know. I've got my website up in the works. That's been coming. I'm sorry that it's taken me so long. I'm a one-man show right now. So anyway, so 63 herbs, what alcohol you need to make a tincture out of them. Or you could use that alcohol to make a alcohol intermediary infused oil, which makes a more potent salve. So yeah, that's the deets today. That's the most important thing that I want to teach you to start with on your journey of herbalism. Because then after this, after you learn those steps, you can find an herb and research that herb and research its constituents, and then research that constituent's solubility, and you can know how to make that herb work for you and me and everybody else. Thank you guys for tuning in with me in my car, learning about solubility, solvent ranges, constituents, all the fun sciencey terms. I love it. This is my favorite part of herbalism, but I'm a little bit of a nerd. I always loved science in school. It's my favorite thing. So yeah, hopefully if you want to make it a little bit easier on yourself to start with, because I know that sounds like a lot to learn. I tried to break it down simple for you. You can buy that digital download, and there you go. You got 63 of the most common herbs, and that can get you started. It can give you a basis. It's also formatted on a poster size. It's 18 by 24. You can print that poster and put it on your wall, buddy. Or you can like use your phone. You could use a computer. You can always have it with you. So if you've got some nettle leaf that you want to make a good tincture out of, you've got mullein, you have milk thistle, blessed thistle, God, there's so many on there. There's yarrow, juniper berry. I can't even name all the things that are on there. It's a lot. That'll help you. Oh, almost forgot to tell y'all, Cattle Creek Ranch loves y'all, man. Y'all have made my dreams come true. I love y'all. Love helping y'all out. Y'all are so sweet. You leave me the sweetest comments and messages. I love it. Trying to help everybody I can. So if I miss you in a comment, try and message me. I think I've got back with everybody that's messaged me, if I'm not mistaken. If I missed you, message me again, because it's super busy and I'm trying my best. But thank you guys so much. Love y'all.